They say the jungle sleeps at night. But that is a lie told by those who have never truly listened to the dark. Because in the silence, when even the wind seems afraid to move, something is always awake. Something patient, something precise, something that does not hunt to survive, but survives to hunt. Deep within the shadowed forests of Africa and parts of Asia, a ghost moves without sound. The leopard is not just another predator, it is a living absence. A shape the darkness forgets to reveal. A presence so controlled, so deliberate, that prey often dies without ever realizing it was targeted. There are stories from villagers who live on the edge of these forests. Stories of animals vanishing without struggle, without alarm, without a sound to mark the moment of death. One moment they exist, the next only silence remains. No chaos, no warning, just disappearance swallowed by the trees. The leopard is built for this kind of erasure. Its body is compact, dense with muscle, but designed for silence rather than spectacle. Every step is absorbed by padded paws that mute the forest floor. Every movement is calculated, efficient, and invisible. Even its breathing seems disciplined, as if the animal has learned to negotiate with silence itself. Its greatest weapon is not speed in a straight chase, but control in a single instant. The ability to compress power into a sudden explosion. From stillness to violence in less than a heartbeat, it can launch itself through the air with terrifying precision, striking from angles the mind cannot predict. Even its anatomy feels like a tool of execution. Retractable claws that never announce their presence. Jaws built not for prolonged struggle, but for immediate termination. A bite designed to end resistance before it begins. The leopard does not wrestle with its world, it corrects it. In the dead of night, when visibility collapses into nothing, it becomes something worse than a hunter. It becomes certainty. Prey does not see it approach. It does not hear it arrive. It only feels the moment when reality changes and escape is no longer an option. In one rural village bordering dense wilderness, livestock began disappearing without explanation. Fences remained intact. No tracks were found in the soil. There were no signs of panic, no broken ground, no struggle that could explain the losses. Only absence, only emptiness where life had been hours before. One night, a farmer stayed awake, determined to understand what was stealing from him. He sat in silence as the hours passed, surrounded by darkness so complete it felt alive. Then he saw it. A subtle shift in the edge of the trees, a distortion in the blackness. Not movement in the traditional sense, but the suggestion of movement. A leopard emerged without sound. It did not rush, it did not hesitate, it simply arrived. Within seconds, it was inside the enclosure. A single animal was taken, not dragged violently, not torn apart in chaos, but removed with surgical efficiency. By the time the farmer reacted, the forest had already reclaimed its shadow. In another account, a wildlife ranger stationed alone at a remote outpost described a presence he could not explain. It was just after midnight, during heavy rain that turned the jungle into a blur of noise and darkness. He heard breathing outside his shelter, not loud, not aggressive, just close enough to confirm he was not alone. He scanned the forest with his flashlight. Nothing appeared, no movement, no reflection. Then, for a fraction of a second, the light caught something above him. A shape resting in the branches of a tree directly overhead. A leopard, perfectly still, watching. It did not attack. It did not reveal itself further. It simply remained there as if assessing him, studying him, understanding him. And then, without warning, it vanished into the storm as if it had never existed at all. The ranger was left with a realization more disturbing than any attack. That he had not discovered the leopard. The leopard had discovered him first. There are also older stories, passed through generations in remote settlements, of children wandering too close to the forest edge at dusk, of silence falling where laughter once existed, of no screams, no warnings, no chance for rescue, only footsteps that end abruptly and never resume. In these accounts, what disturbs survivors most is not the violence, but the absence of it. The leopard does not need chaos to kill. It relies on precision so absolute that struggle becomes unnecessary. Victims are not defeated. They are simply removed from the equation of survival. Even its behavior after a kill reflects something colder than instinct. It does not consume in haste. It lifts its prey into trees, away from scavengers, away from noise, away from interference. It turns height into safety and secrecy into ownership. The forest becomes a vault, and the leopard becomes its keeper. And so it continues night after night, unseen but always present. A system of survival operating behind the illusion of stillness. A reminder that the wilderness is not empty, it is controlled. Because the leopard is not chaos, it is order refined into silence. It is not rage, it is intention without emotion. It does not hate its prey, it simply understands it. And in the end, that is what makes it so terrifying. Nature does not forgive, and these killers do not show mercy, respect the boundary, or pay the price.